So I know yesterday we had quite a longer discussion. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was helpful for you. And so if you have more questions, be sure to jump in and talk to me. Hey, Luan. Hey, Fernando. Hey, Mike. Yeah, so it's great when you ask me questions because then that opens that creative space that I was telling you about and I can give answers. Hey, Christina. Good to see you. So today I want to talk about something. Yesterday we talked about depression and, what to do when you're feeling stuck and, trapped in a situation. Hey, Christina. So today I want to talk about something else. And that is who is responsible for my own happiness, right? Who's responsible for your own happiness? And when you really understand, I fully own myself, right? That means I get to control all my decisions. That means I get to choose what I want to do, right? When I really claim my own self-ownership, then I'm like, okay, well then my parents don't own me, okay? My religion doesn't own me. My guru, my leader, all of these other people that we give over our power to, they don't own me. I own me, only me. And I'm the only one that gets to make decisions for myself. So when I take back that power and I say, it's just me, I own me. If I'm not happy doing this, that's my decision. Because this is my body, this is my property, and I get to choose what I'm going to do with my life. Hey, Lucas. So when I claim that power, when I take back my property in my body and I say, this is not up to my parents, this is not up to my leaders, to my gurus, to my wife, right? To my husband, to my children. This is not up to any of those people. This is my life and my body. I get to choose. When I know that I get to choose what I want to do, I'm taking back the power for my own happiness, okay? Because if I feel like I have to live my life to serve somebody else's desires and wishes, right? Whether that's my parents or my children or my spouse, right? If I'm thinking I've got to live my life to serve their desires, well, then of course I'm going to feel stuck, right? Hey, Knox, good to see you. Hey, Joelle. So it's only in taking back that power, we say, no, my life is, if I want to serve, I'm doing it because I choose. I'm doing it because that's what makes me happy. And if it's not making me happy and it's not in my interest, my best interest, right, for who I want to be in my life and where I want to go with my life, then I'm not going to do it. Okay, that's the key. That's the key. So that's when you take responsibility for your own happiness. That's when you realize if I'm in a situation that I hate and I feel stuck here, hey, that is nobody else to blame for that except for me. I'm the one that has to do it. Yes, Knox, grab life by the horns. Exactly, right? But you can only do it when you just take back your power and you say, wait, it's not up to them if I'm happy or not. It's not up to them what I do with my life. This is my life. I choose. It's up to me. And I take back that power. I take back that control. And then I realize, wow, my own happiness is actually in my hands. I'm the one that gets to decide if I'm happy or not. See? It's not up to anybody else. I don't need them to apologize to me for hurting me or for abusing me. I don't need them to do that because it's not up to them, right? I get to pick if I'm going to be happy. I get to pick that I'm going to heal. I get to pick all of that stuff, right? And it's because my body contains what? It contains my thoughts and my emotions and my actions. And when I fully own that, then I'm responsible for what those are going to be. And if I got bad training, right, if I was abused, which I was, right, all of those things, and they created patterns in my mind that might be negative, that might be harmful, that might be discouraging, all of which is true, right? I might have bad patterns around money. I might have bad patterns around relationships. And these subconscious beliefs and patterns, all of this stuff. Now, it might have all gotten programmed in by somebody else, right? Bad parenting. It might have all been programmed in by that. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because right now, in this moment, they can't do anything about it. It's only me. I'm the only one that can do anything about it in this moment, right? I mean, I think I realized when I was like 10 or 12 that, you know what, it's up to me. Because, my parents were who my parents were. And I realized, whatever it was they did, whatever it was they'd done, that was done. And at this point, whatever I did, my happiness, my success, what I chose to do in my life, it was going to be up to me. It wasn't going to be up to them. I think I was like, probably around 10 or 12 when I realized that and took that responsibility for myself. That's what happens. So if you're older than that, then it's definitely time to take that responsibility for yourself and recognize that. Okay. Hi, Elena. Good to see you. Been a while. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, about taking responsibility for your own happiness. It's the most beautiful and powerful thing that you can do, because as long as you are waiting on other people to do stuff, you're giving the power of your happiness into their hands. What about parents who try to force you to do something they want you to do? Great question. Very good question. So let's think about this, okay? It's going to depend a lot on how old you are, right? Are you a teenager? Are you almost out of the house? Are you over 18, right? If you're over 18 and you're no longer, under your parents' kind of rule according to the law, then that doesn't matter, right? You're free. You are an adult. You get to pick. If they're trying to pressure you or manipulate you or control you into doing something they want you to do, that is their violation. They are violating your property right in yourself and in your own body, okay? If you are underage and you are still living with your parents and dependent on them for money, for food, for housing, for schooling, right? Then what we talked about before is what's happening. There is a concept of the exchange, okay? This is what is happening. If I live in my parents' house or in anybody's house, frankly, right? If I live in someone else's house and they're helping to pay for stuff for me, then we have an exchange, okay? They get to set the rules of their house as long as those rules are not actually violating me, okay? Be very careful about this, okay? If those rules are violating my property rights in my body, my creation, stuff like that, that's not okay. But if they say, well, this is what if I'm paying for it, then I get to say kind of what it is that you do with it, then that's valid. That's an exchange, right? So then that becomes the issue of, well, then I need to get free economically and I need to be responsible for myself economically, so I'm not dependent on somebody else, so that they're not telling me, so that they can't tell me what to do with their money, right? Knox says, that's true. Yeah, 100%. Exactly, right? So this is the power of freedom. This is the power of understanding your freedom and of getting yourself free economically. This is why I went to school and studied as hard as I did and, tried to make sure that I always could have a way to support myself, a job that I could support myself in. Even if that job wasn't something that I particularly liked, I didn't have to love it. I just had to be able to know that it would always give me independence. I had to know, hey, Lexar, good to see you. Go back and rewatch this one, okay? So I had to know that whatever I chose to do to make money, that I would be able to be independent, that I could take care of myself so that I wouldn't be forced to follow somebody else. Because when I was growing up, all the way into my early 20s, I had to follow all these other people's rules and beliefs and religion and all of this stuff because I was dependent on them. That's a terrible place to be if you want to really take the power of your own happiness in your own hands. Now, I will say one thing. even if you are currently stuck in a situation where you are dependent on somebody else. Okay, let's say you're underage. Let's say you just physically are in a position, you're in school and you're not making money yet, or whatever that may be, right? Maybe you are in a position where you're stuck and you're dependent on somebody else. You can still recognize the independence in your own mind, in your own soul, in your own being. Thank you for the hearts, Luxar. All right, you can recognize that. That's the power. When I recognize, okay, right now in this moment, I'm in a position where I'm in an exchange. They're paying for me, and so I'm agreeing to do certain things. I'm going to wash dishes. I'm going to clean up. I'm going to, be home at a certain time, whatever it is, right? Because that's an exchange, okay? But you can know in your mind and in your heart where you're going, what you're fighting for. You can know, you can say like, well, they're telling me I've got to be a doctor or a lawyer or something I don't want to be, right? You can say, well, right now for this next year, 2 years, whatever, until I get myself a job and get myself economically free, I recognize I need to follow certain rules that they've put in for how they want to have their home lived in. But my future is up to me. My future is up to me. My career, what I'm going to choose to do, that's always up to you. Always. Most people go to school for something and they never do it. Most people go to college for something and they never become it. They go do something totally different, right? So that is always in your hands. That's always in your hands. So just remember, and if you're in a situation, let's say where you're being abused, okay, or where someone is using manipulation on you and control and guilt and all of this sort of stuff on you, if you're in that kind of a situation, just even realizing and recognizing that I, in my heart, I own me. And I see what they're doing. I see that they're trying to use guilt to get me to do something, to make me feel bad, right? I can see what they're doing. I recognize it, so it doesn't have the same power over me. Once I'm aware of it, it's not going to have the same emotional power over me, and emotional power to hurt me, because I recognize, oh, wow, you know what? They're trying to make me feel guilty. Okay, they're guilting me and they're like, well, I'm this and I did this for you and I did that for you and I'm your parent and I had such a hard delivery or whatever that was, right? They're trying to guilt you into doing stuff. Hey, once you recognize, wait, that is a form of negative manipulation, which is a violation of my property right. They may not know that. They may not understand that. That's how they were brought up. That's how their parents taught them. And if, you're in a good space and you can share it with them about, the concepts of a true agreement, right? And about creating incentives rather than negative, pressure, negative manipulation, then great. You might be able to heal that relationship and work out something better where you have a more harmonious relationship with them. And that can be really beautiful. But if that's not happening, right, then at least in your own heart, in your own heart, that that's not true, that that's not valid, and that you are free. And even just having that inside of yourself, just that sense inside of yourself, will make you stronger. And you'll know what you're going for. You'll know what you're looking for. You'll know that you're creating a future for yourself that you're going to love. See? That's where you want to go. You will realize what they're doing, recognize it, acknowledge it. I get it. This is what you're doing. But it doesn't actually have to affect me emotionally because I control what's going on in me emotionally. I can center myself. And I do things specifically to do that for myself. Do you think a lot of the older generations have entitlement issues? I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Isn't that what they're always complaining about, the younger generation? They're always complaining and being like, whoa, this younger generation has entitlement issues. Right? And you're asking, do you think the older generations have entitlement issues? um, yes, to some extent, of course, right? We probably all have entitlement issues, but it depends on what you think you're entitled to, right? So the older generation, what kind of entitlement issues do they have? They probably feel entitled to be the boss. They probably feel entitled to tell you what to do with your life. Okay, that's how they feel entitled, right? The complaint from the older generation about the younger generations are that we feel entitled to just have everything given to us without working for it, without having to put in the work to get it, right? Just, oh, well, you're just supposed to provide everything for me. You're just supposed to feed me and do this and that and the other and, kind of thing. And they're like, yeah, well, I had to work really hard for this. Okay. So it's funny because you're talking about is true, right? Knox says, yeah, that's true, right? So different people are feeling entitled by different things. Okay. So yes, we both have entitlement issues. But, that's the beauty of understanding this. When you really get this, you understand that you're not entitled for them to take care of you. You're not entitled to that. You're not entitled for somebody to just provide for you all the time, right? You are responsible to go. And when you take responsibility to go figure it out for yourself and go find that money and find that job, then you get to control, right? And you get to control what you're doing. See, that is the beauty of it. But as long as you try to stay in that little cocoon of just take care of me, then what? You're also losing your ability to be independent and to control your own life and your happiness. And that is such a trap. And I know you feel that trap. And I know that you are like, you understand that that's just, that's what creates depression when you're in that trap. I've seen it. Like I saw it in my own brother when he was in a relationship where, he was in a relationship. He wasn't earning money, right? So he was dependent on the person he was with for money and everything like that. And when he became unhappy in it, he still didn't have a way to support himself. So he felt trapped and he became really, really depressed. See? But when that broke up and he was forced to go out on his own without any money, he was just dropped out like boom. Okay. Then he had to pull his life together. And guess what? Once he started working and being independent and, pulling his life back together, he ended up finding another person who was great for him. And now he's doing really, really well. And that depression is gone. See? So that depression can often come with that trap of sort of a sense of the security. So that's where, get yourself ready. If you're in that trap now and you're feeling that depression, then know that doesn't last for very long. That is a short period of time in the history of your life, and it will pass. You just got to start using this time to prep yourself to go out there and take over the world. Go out there and do what you want. I don't care if it's travel or go scuba diving, hiking in the Himalayas, whatever, right? There's just so many amazing, cool things you can do when you just take that power, take that control, and go do it. All right? Okay. I love you guys. You guys have a beautiful day. Lexar, Knox, Rachel, wonderful to see you all. Elena, everybody. You guys have a great day. Okay? Ooh, I didn't even look and see if I had any chats. Oh, hey, good morning. Hey, Miang Lao. Lovely to see you too on Facebook. So you guys have a wonderful day and I will see you tomorrow, okay? So, and I want to hear from you how you plan to take back your power. How are you taking back control? How are you taking back the power? What are you planning for your future? What little steps are you taking right now to take back your independence, to take back your control, to take back your power? What steps are you taking? Tell me. I want to hear about it. Okay? All right. Love you. Thank you, Lexar. Have a great day. Elena for the hearts. Everybody, you guys have a wonderful day. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.